And do we not know who he's playing? Welding usually jungles, right? Does he
No.
play Riven? We'll
Um,
see in a minute. We'll see in a minute.
he does play Riven. I don't know how much though.
It looks like we will
If
see
I had
another
to guess,
Jax top.
if I had to guess, he's the Kennen
The cannon. Okay. Okay.
or the Graves. One of the two. We do have a guy named Dr. Horrible. So if we do look at matchups though, Jax vs Riven actually goes in favor of Riven, I think. I'm not sure. It's really tough because they're both kind of top laners who don't really trade by poking. They trade by going all in. You know what I mean? Like,
hmm
so that's gonna be a fun top lane to watch. And then mid lane, you do have a Nivea versus Kennen. Kennen is gonna have somewhat of an advantage if he tries to max his W first, because he'll be able to just throw his auto attacks at a Nivea all day. Since the Nivea's skill shots are actually really hard until she hits 6. You do have Shyvana in the jungle against the Mummy. Uh, Amumu
That's
is gonna
gonna be a
go.
horrible time for a Momo.
Yeah, you're probably gonna see an early invade actually on Amumu's blue buff because
He
he
relies on it
actually,
so much.
yeah, he does. And if he doesn't start his tiers, then it's gonna make his jungle really slow. And then you have Vayne Janna versus Graves Sona, and that's actually gonna be one of the closer matchups. But we do see that Vayne and Janna both have heal, so it's gonna be a very hard lane to kill. But Graves also did pick up an ignite, so that's gonna be very interesting because those kills will be very, what's the word, reduced because of that ignite. So, I mean, this is gonna be an interesting matchup. And also, one thing to note though is Riven has no escape, so she's planning to go all in.
All in with that heal ignite.
Yeah,
I think Riven might win that exchange, mainly because of that shield. That shield probably can reduce a lot of that damage.
but then Jax also has his dodge, so
If he can get that off, I mean, if you think about it, Riven is mainly like she's kind of more of a caster, you know, like she
yeah.
uses a lot of abilities. So
But
like while he's doing that, she doesn't have to auto attack. She
a
can.
lot of her damage though also comes from her auto attacks because she gains extra damage in between each of her spells. So the point of Riven is to like you use her, what's it called? What's her Q called?
Broken wings.
I think it's Broken Wings, yeah. So you use the Broken Wings once and then auto attack since Broken Wings in itself only does like 20 damage or something.
But again,
You,
like I said, she is but she has that like caster,
yeah, I
ness,
understand.
and she has another source of damage during the dodge.
And I was wrong. Welding is the Riven. So this is gonna be a very interesting game. Um, I got to root for my homeboy Welding, even though it's a caster, you're not supposed to root for anyone. So I'm gonna root for him right now, and that's it. Then I root for no one. So go Welding.
I like Anivia, so
You like an idea?
Nivea. I like seeing Anivia. She's a really good champion. A lot of people like kind of underestimate her because she is so
Dude,
slow.
no way. I started on time this game. I can see what everyone's buying.
Oh man, oh man.
Oh man.
Anivia actually going Mana Crystal.
Yeah, she's gonna plan on
Hmm.
getting that early catalyst probably, which is gonna help her. But that main is
It's a
gonna get
very
her.
risky start against Kennen early.
Yeah, and if I was Kennen and I realized this, like once he sees her in lane, I'd immediately max my electrical surge because that's just gonna make it so that I can do whatever I want.
Oh, definitely. I usually max W anyways first. You get so much damage from it. Let's help you clear waves anyways. And Mumu, they definitely need to defend this blue, but it looks like they are pinging on it. They definitely do want to get this invasion, try and disrupt Mumu's blue as best they can. And it looks
Yeah,
like
and
Kennen is coming around. They does manage to land the stun. And he is ignited. Can he get away? The auto attack, no, looks like the ignite will not tick off
oh, and
enough.
he does pop a heal. I
He
don't think he needed a pop heal at all, but he got afraid, and Kennen did use his summoner heal. So
Jax is DC'd right now. So they're not going to have like any form of Jax CC. And Riven is caught napping. Welding will Q out of there. Broken Wings. Actually, Vayne taking lots of damage, getting dangerously low, but Amumu getting stunned against the wall by Condemn.
a great
Amumu is getting
exhaust.
very low.
That was
Great exhaust on to Shyvana. Shyvana goes down from the Graves. Graves is going to pick up a first blood. And
Yeah,
then
and that was just perfect. When Shyvana came in, they waited until she like burnt everything, and then they exhausted her and threw an ignite. Graves uses ignite, so he won't have it in lane, but and it ends up getting him first blood. And who actually picked up that kill?
Graves
Graves
picked up
did.
the
So
kill.
that's a huge, problem for the blue team now is that you're already in a lane where you're most likely going to lose because it's Janna Graves versus Vayne, and Vayne loses almost every lane, even though you have a Janna. And now you give first blood to Graves, which is just going to hurt him even more. And not to mention that the person who died was your jungler, which is one of the people you don't want to die. And so she's going to actually have a slow start, even though she's a Shyvana. So
And
that's actually going to help the Mummy a lot, and he's probably not even going to be counter jungled in his first clear.
if we actually look at the sum, and that actually will help Mumu. Mumu will clear faster as the game progresses, and you won't have to worry so much about. He can protect his jungle pretty well, as he is pretty, he's pretty tanky, and he can clear it pretty decently. Later on, he just needs those blue buffs
Yeah, and
so much.
also that Anivia had to go and help the Shyvana with red buff, so she lost so much EXP. She's level 1, while the Kennen just dinged level 2, so it's not going to be good at all for Anivia.
And if we actually look at summoners used during that game, Vayne had to use flash and heal. Janna also had to use heal. And Shyvana did use exhaust, and Anivia used both of her summoners as well. So lots
And
of
yeah,
summoners were used on the blue team. So that
luckily for Anivia, though, she didn't lose her egg, which is one of the most important things.
and Graves did Graves go back and buy? He did actually not go back and
No,
buy.
he didn't go back and buy. So he's just chilling on that gold right now, and he actually does have 698 gold compared to Vayne's 300. So he has a 300 gold advantage pretty
And
much.
these no boots on Anivia is actually hurting her a lot. She's not able to dodge the shurikens that well.
Yeah, and I think Kennen actually picked up Lightning Rush second, which is gonna help him out a lot. Oh no, he I don't know actually. I can't tell now since he just hit 3 when I was checking. But what a lot of Kennens like to pick up Lightning Rush at level 2 because it prevents any level 2 ganks. And actually, top we do see a Mumu trying to gank this Jax right now.
They do have creep advantage. He already used his jump. He's not going to be able to jump out of this now. He does land the nice stun. There's the flash coming out. Omumu
Oh,
misses his bandage. That would have.
that's okay though. I mean, Jax still burned a flash, and so it's not as bad. But he does get this wave. He'll probably hit level 4 with this wave right here, and it'll give him a level advantage over Welding, or over Riven. But I don't know. And actually, while we did that, Kennen and Anivia were actually dueling it out, and both of them got really low.
Shyvana ganked mid.
And it looks like Shyvana's actually going to give blue buff to this
But
Anivia, but
Amumu
Amumu's actually right in
knows.
the bush.
And Amumu's going to come in and get the damage done. He might kick down. Yes, he does take down
Oh.
Shyvana. And he's going to steal this blue buff. So you're going to see counter juggling from Amumu.
Yeah, and this Amumu is actually making great plays right now. And, this early advantage that he's getting, and he's actually going to go for this Anivia right now.
He definitely can die of this, but
Kennen is here.
he has to pop the egg. He misses it,
Oh,
and he's going
no.
to give up double buff to an
Wow.
Anivia. And that is huge this early for an
Yeah,
Anivia.
that is going to completely just mess up this Kennen. He's going to have to back. He's going to be... all this EXP is in Anivia's favor. She's going to might even hit 6 before he gets back. And push the wave to the tower so Kennen gets no EXP. So, I mean, that's just not good at all.
It looks
I
like
think Amumu got a little too cocky and ended up just making the wrong play and throwing any advantage he actually gave his team.
up top, there's a lot of trading going on up top. They keep seeming to stay around the same health despite attacking each other all the time. And it looks like, oh man, Jack's actually doing lots of damage to Riven. Riven, I think, has a little bit more sustain with her
And
HP 5.
also Riven threw down an early ward, so that actually helped her a lot. So she does know Shyvana is camping her right now. And because she knows this, actually, I think Amumu's going to come in for a counter gank. Yeah, and Mumu is pinging. Oh, he misses the bandage toss. That could have been a potential kill.
Shyvana is only level 3 though. Amumu is level 5. Shyvana did waste a lot of time though. And yeah, that's very bad by Shyvana. She definitely does not want to waste time right now. She is very far behind in everything. She's behind bot lane even. She's got less levels in bot lane.
Yeah, and
And
right now, if we do want to look at bot lane, Graves is winning right now with 34 CS to 24 CS. So just in CS, he has more gold, and he also has that first blood. So that's going to help him out a lot.
Mumu is pinging onto mid. He definitely wants to try and shut down that Anivia, but Anivia is on the other side of the lane. Just despite her slow movement, she's just gonna be able to walk out of there. And
By the way, I just want to make a quick shout out right now. I
yeah,
want to give Amumu props because he has the Vancouver Amumu skin. Just want to say that.
and
And Kennen actually does throw down his ulti on Anivia right now. Anivia does waste her A. Kennen does miss his shuriken. and gets the kill. So, I mean, that's huge. Kennen now has a double buff, and it's a fresh double buff.
Yes,
And
and
this is going to make it very tough for Anivia.
Nivea
Uh,
not getting those boots. She now has picked up her boots. She is actually losing in CS horribly against Kennen.
yeah, and I mean, one of the big things that actually brought her back was that she had a double buff and a kill, but now Kennen has the double buff, Kennen has a kill, and Kennen is actually going to push this wave, so Nivea misses all of the CS. So it's this mid lane is actually in favor of Kennen, and while I look top, Jax has 30 CS to Riven's 32.
So they're staying
Riven
about
did
even.
go, yeah, Riven did go double Thorns though, while Jax just went for an early Ninja Tabby. So it's kind of like a passive farm fest. And then you look at bot lane though, Graves almost has double the CS of Vayne, and that's huge. And Vayne actually had to go back and buy. So I think we might see Graves go back and buy really soon.
Looks like Vayne is going for a Wriggles. Try and get that armor and that lifesteal up. Try and help her sustain a little bit more in lane against this Graves. She definitely needs that. But I do not agree. I do not know if that's a smart buy right
Yeah,
now.
usually when I play against a Graves as Vayne, I really don't like the Wriggles pick. Especially when you have a
But
Janna.
Anivia
Janna
is
has such
coming into gank onto this Graves. She will land the stun onto him.
she
Here
does. She
follows
stunned.
up with where's the there it is. I don't think
She didn't throw a wall though.
she
Where's the
didn't
wall?
she has no levels in wall.
Oh, she put no levels in wall?
But
Oh.
Janna will unfortunately Janna does pick up the kill. It would have been
Yeah,
very
but I
nice
mean,
for
it's not
Vayne.
as bad because you had 3 people getting assist, or 2 people getting assists on it, so it's still, the goal goes around really well.
So what do you usually level on Anivia? I usually level, like
I
Frostbite
usually,
and Wall.
okay, so a lot of people like to get, if you're going against a heavy burster, which I don't know if you would consider Kennen a heavy burst champion. I don't think he's a really strong burst champion. But if you're going against a really strong burst champion, you max your E first always, and then you get a couple points on your Q, and then you max wall because you do not need your Q really for the burst, since your Q has like a 1.0 ratio if you land the Q. So
And
it actually
Mumu is
reduces
coming into
leveling as
gank.
well.
Look at that burst from Mumu, even though Sona just misses her ult completely. There's
But
the follow-up from a Mumu ult. So 2 ults for a kill, but I mean, that's just so much worth it, shutting down that 80 carry. And
and
meanwhile
actually
at
up
top,
top, yeah, Jax does pick up the kill on Riven, and Jax is one of those champions top lane that snowballs really really well. So we might see him after he backs. Let's see how much gold he has right now. He does have 1,200 gold, or about 1,200 gold, so he can maybe pick up a Wriggles, and that will help him in lane a lot against the Riven. So we'll see.
we'll see bot tower is getting very low. And this Anivia kind of just messing up her combo a bit. Does throw a Frostbite before Kennen was chilled. So this Anivia actually kind of letting me down a little bit, inside.
It's okay because we got this Lamumu to bring us back up.
Shyvana, look at that burst from Shyvana onto the
Yeah,
Sona.
and
That Sona
Shyvana
is
has a
going to
med
go
buff too.
down.
This is pretty much a for sure kill. Nevia does get
And then,
lucky
oh
again.
man, this Graves might also, no, it looks like Graves will get away. Amumu is coming down to pick up this kill on Shyvana.
Lamumu doesn't
And
have
there's a
this,
nice ult from Janna to save the Shyvana. Very good ult. And
and
Anivia will pick up the kill on the
Graves
Graves.
kind of didn't do the smart thing, and he went back in. And now we're gonna actually potentially see
If
a
Vayne gets 2
3-for-nothing
kills
trade.
here, that'll be
So
huge.
yeah, so they're gonna probably try to let Anivia get this kill.
And it looks
Okay,
like
so Vayne
Vayne will
picks
pick
him
it
up.
up.
So that was a 3-for-0 trade, and it did not help the purple team at all.
Anivia is 3-1-2 though. She does have 3 kills. She did pick up the kill on the Graves, which was big, and then she did get that double buff off of Kennen. I do not know if she picked up the second kill, but she has 3-1, so she is coming back pretty nicely.
Yeah, she's doing a great job right now, and
Oh, she
she
does
does
manage to
actually
land
get
a
the stun.
nice stun there, but they cannot follow up. Kennen was
And
too far away.
one of the big positives about that team fight was that you got a free dragon out of it while getting 3 kills. So, I mean, Jax by itself, he, gains a lot of advantage because now he has an advantage over top lane to add on to that kill. And actually, we do see Jax when he backs, he bought a double Doran's to give him some more damage. So, I thought he might have gone for Wriggles for the armor, but he wanted some health and lifesteal. That was a good buy.
Definitely,
And
Riven
healthing
definitely
though,
needs to build. Do you think she's gonna build that into a Bloodthirster, her Vamp Scepter, or is she gonna go for the
yeah,
Wriggles
that's
route?
gonna be a vibe center because usually it's really hard to push Riven out of lane once she gets her double Doran's Vamp Scepter because there's just so much
No, but what's she gonna
life
build it
steal that she
into? A Bloodthirster or a?
No,
Or
it's
a
gonna be a
Wriggles?
Bullfister.
Okay.
I thought Jax might have gone to Wriggles, but no. And Jax does have an early ward in their tri-bush, so he does see the movement coming. But one of the things I thought I would see in Riven was that she would get
Down
an
at bot lane,
instant.
Sona does get a nice ult off, managing to stun both of Vayne and
Yeah,
Janna. Janna,
great
nice
push.
ulti to
Great
keep
push.
Graves in range of the tower, but it does not have the slow or the damage, and she's
That
gonna
was a
die a
very
needless
greedy
death.
move by Janna. Very, very greedy move by Janna. She turned a 2-for-1 or a 1-for-0 to a 2-for-nothing trade. So that really just hurt bot lane even more. And actually, red team is coming back, even though losing that dragon because of all these trades. Like they're winning in these kills.
This is 1500 YOLO, anything can happen. This is solo queue. Welding is 1500, right? He's in the 1500s?
I think this is gonna be his game for the 1500
Alright,
to
alright.
climb back up. He struggled for a bit. He was in a slump, but he's coming back up, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah, man. And
But
Nivea
you do
now
see
with
Anivia
full...
has reached that point in game where she can just farm whenever she wants because of her ultimate. And we actually do see that red team's blue buff is up right now. So, I mean, we might see blue team go contest it. Maybe blue team doesn't even know. It looks like Amumu's going to take this, though.
They
And
definitely
another
want to give it to Anivia. Anivia needs to get... They probably want to try and contest that as best they can, but this is low yellow. Usually they don't do that this low. So,
also
that's going
one
to be
thing to note,
unfortunate.
though, is that not even on purpose, but red team actually took bottom tower because of the minion push. And it's really gonna hurt them because now Vayne is just gonna get all the free farm she wants. She wants this to happen. She wants that farm, and this is actually gonna hurt Graves more than her since Graves was winning his lane so strongly already that just the towers pushing, he was getting so much farm. But because there were so many ganks bot lane, minions actually stacked up and they just pushed the tower. So over time, and that's gonna hurt Graves.
Looks like a Mumu still trying to counter jungle, despite knowing that Anivia knows he's there. And it looks like he does flash give manage to land a bandage. Does he have his ulti? He does have his ulti up,
Oh,
and
that was
Kennen
a
is
great
going to
ult.
come in there. Does Kennen have his ulti? Kennen, where's his ulti at? He does ult. There he is. And they're going to kill this Anivia. Kennen
I
is
don't
going to take the
like
tower.
that cannon ult though, to be honest. I mean, it secured him the kill, but I don't think it was necessary.
There's
And
the
that's
Sona ulti. Nice Sona ulti. Then followed up by exhaust. Kennen does get exhausted.
Yeah, and
But they're
Kennen
going to easily
actually
pick up
has
this
like
kill.
no energy. He almost was not able to pick up that kill.
Graves coming down, trying to support. So red team actually working very well together. That was a nice stun from Sona and exhaust, stopping all the damage and saving, actually probably saving Ken in there. I think Shyvana could have bursted Ken in there.
Yeah, so while much isn't happening except a Mumu pushing a mid tower, we should check on gold. And right now we do have the gold advantage is clearly going in the red favor, as you guys can, or red team's favor. And really only everyone on blue team has around 3,500 gold, while everyone on red team has around 4K and up. So, I mean, you can clearly see that everyone on red team has like a 500 gold advantage. And also one thing to note is the items, is that this Grave has an early BF sword, while Riven went Wriggles, and I think that BF sword is actually going to trump the Wriggles soon. Also, another thing to note is that Riven is sitting on 1,700 gold and Jax is sitting on 1,800 gold. And right now there's a gank on top lane, but again, Kennen has no stun, or no ultimate. So if he saved his ultimate on from that Anivia fight, I think that could have been a guaranteed kill on Jax. But both of these top lanes have yet to back, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they pick up as their first really big major item.
Jax is going back right now. He does pick up his cutlass, and so he is going for that Hextech Gunblade. Interesting first
Yeah,
choice. I'm surprised. I don't know. Usually people like to go revolver. I usually see a different mix. What would you
uh,
say is like the different? What
if
would
I
you
had a
say?
lot of money, I would go with my Cutlass because Cutlass usually gives you more stats for the gold. Revolver is good, but you have to activate spells. So Jax can only gain lifesteal off of his W and his Q. Meanwhile, if he gets a Cutlass, he can gain it off of every auto attack, which will help him in lane more. And it also stacks with his Dorans. So that's usually a good item. And you've been seeing a lot of Jax's actually been going Hextech now because of Jax's new ultimate, and he gains MR and armor just based off his ability power and attack damage. So it's one of the main reasons why a lot of Jaxes lately have been going Hextech and then really tanky.
Looks like Riven not being allowed to go back. She probably desperately needs to get back. She is sitting on 2,100 gold. Definitely wants to spend that money and try and get another item so she can deal
Yeah,
with this.
And exactly, the main problem right now is
And
that
Nivea gets a
Jax.
nice wall blocking off Sona, and Sona is going to die with this Oracles, and that is going to be huge.
Yeah, that is really huge. That's going to actually hamper the red team and put her behind. And you know, one thing though is that we're at the point in the game now where anyone can kill any tower in just one minion wave. And we actually do see an engage coming from red team, but Jax knows, and he's just going to clearly back off. Well, Amumu looks like he's actually going to go and steal this Anivia's blue. Meanwhile, blue team, though, knows that, or I don't think they know that this is going on, but they do know that people are missing, and they're actually going to go for a dragon attempt. But I don't think this is worth it. I don't think the dragon attempt is worth Anivia's blue buff.
And here comes Jax going aggressive onto this Amumu. Amumu actually is pretty tanky. He does use his ultimate, and it looks like,
Yeah,
yes,
and that was
there's a
very
nice
smart from
cannon
Mumu.
ultimate.
That was a very great play by Mumu. He knew that if he used his ultimate, he'd have enough time for Kennen to come in and use his ult, and that was just great teamwork by the red team.
Meanwhile, blue team
Meanwhile,
did pick
the
up Dragon.
yeah, they did end up getting a dragon. They end up coming with 1k gold, but I don't think it's enough. You do lose blue buff. You are going to lose top tower. This is just, it's not going to be worth it.
If they can save this top tower, it might be worth it in the end. I mean, I think Dragons are better than a blue buff, but I mean, they did give up a kill on Jax.
Yeah, in terms of gold and like yeah, and efficiency, dragon of course is way more important than blue buff. But you're losing a tower, and Anivia is constantly like reliant on that blue buff. So this is gonna make Kennen even stronger in lane against her. And it does look like they will be able to pick up the tower. Kennen's probably gonna finish it off. Riven's actually gonna go buy, so it'll be interesting to see what she buys since she has 2,500 gold. She's probably gonna pick up her Bloodthirster straight up, and that's probably what we're gonna see from.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she does buy her Bloodthirster, she still has 200 gold. So yeah, she can't buy anything. You'll probably see Riven pick up a Merc Treads actually this game because of
Oh,
even Jax does do a lot of magic damage. So I think Merc Treads would be the smarter choice.
most definitely. And there comes Vayne. Graves does try to catch Vayne, and looks like he is going to get some burst damage on there. But Shyvana is coming down, and there's the exhaust on the Graves. So that's going to that saves just Vayne just straight up. That exhaust was just so
Yeah,
huge.
and that was great by Vayne. She knew that Shyvana was right around the corner, so she actually baited the fight, and Graves fell for it. And Graves shouldn't have even fought that. He was so far down the enemy's lane that was just not even a smart engagement. He kind of got too cocky.
This is solo queue though. Anything can happen. And it looks like Amumu is going to secure his own blue buff. Again, so Amumu doing a good job of controlling all the blues this game. Despite, the other team actually, despite having a Shyvana on their team. Shyvana is usually pretty hard to counter jungle,
Yeah,
especially as a
Shyvana just got
Amumu.
hampered so hard in the very beginning because of that first blood death that it really hurt her. And you're actually going to see Riven engage on this Jax right now, but Jax actually putting out a lot of damage. Riven's just going to go sit on her island and get that Bloodthirster stack, so...
She definitely needs that. That lifesteal will just help her out so much against this Jack. So she'll be able to poke and then fall back and then just sustain back up to full health.
By the way, I was wondering why I was getting lag spikes, and I thought it was the new spectator mode, but in reality, I was on Power Saver.
Oh man. Oh my gosh.
I'm such a noob.
Fail.
So now I can put all my stuff back up. I was like running on like 20 frames sometimes, and I was like, what the heck? Okay, that's so much better.
So we look at items. Vayne finally has her Zeal, and she is getting another dagger. So is she just gonna rush her Phantom Dancer?
I think so. Well,
Oh, and a move flashes middle, trying to land a bandage on Anivia, and it just does not work out.
yeah, and right now Graves does actually have an IE, and that's gonna put him a lot farther than Vayne right now. Even though Vayne does have that Zeal, Graves does have an attack speed buff that I think gives him like 90%. No, it's well right now it's at level 3, so it's 60%. I think it caps at 80, so he gets an 80% increase, and that's huge. I don't think he necessarily needs that Zeal early game.
Definitely not. Vayne does benefit from more with the Silver Bolts proc, with that true damage,
And the movement speed.
and the movement speed, which she just so desperately needs.
And right now, if we do look at Riven, her Bloodthirster stacks are at 15, so she's not really able to farm it. She's had it for quite a while, and she's not really able to farm it up, but she does pick up a couple CS right there, so it's going to help her out. And it looks like the red team is going to make an engage on blue team's middle tower, but the problem is that you're versing against an Anivia, and she can clear waves really fast. And actually a great wall by Anivia, not letting a Mumu come help his team.
Shyvana does catch Graves out in the open, though, and Shyvana actually might get caught herself. No, she widens up and backs out. She knows that the whole team is there. We'll
And
get
like I
some
said earlier, Anivia saw that the Mumu and Sona that were trying to go in through mid lane, and that she actually threw a really great
nice
wall.
bandage from Amumu. Coming in with his ulti,
Yeah,
does
and they picked
pop
up a
the
great
egg,
kill right
and
here.
Anivia is going to go down. There's the Sona ulti only hitting one person. There's the Kennen ulti not hitting very many people.
Yeah, and you know what though? That was a great initiation right there by Mumu. By picking up that Anivia kill, they actually secured mid tower for them, especially because they traded. Oh, actually though, Kennen gets
And
caught,
Kennen
and this
gets
can
caught out in the open. Nice tornado,
yeah,
and that's going to
this
be a
could change
kill.
everything. Actually, I don't even know if they're gonna be able to engage on this tower anymore. I think the smart move is just to back off. And meanwhile, all of this has happened. Jackson's been pushing top tower, so this is gonna be a free tower for the blue team, and actually could be a strong change of direction for them. And you know, this might be what they need to actually win.
Oh, can he stun him under tower? He does not manage to stun him under tower. That would have been huge right there in that fight. It might have been able to go in on that. But looks like Graves is going to come in also. There's the Ignite going on the Jax. His lifesteal is going to be so little, and Welding will pick up the kill.
Yeah, so in the end, they don't lose top tower. They do get a kill. I mean, it wasn't as bad. You know, there wasn't a really big major throw. I think if Jax got that top tower and somehow lived, we could have seen blue team actually come out and win this. Like that would have been huge. Because Vayne picked up a kill, you know, you still got all that global money, but instead they did not. But actually, Anivia does get a blue buff for like the first time in a while, so it's actually gonna help her out.
Well, if we look at the gold count is getting pretty even again.
Yeah, I mean they're only within 2K total, so I mean that's good. But again, this Riven is sitting on 1,500 gold right now, so that's kind of scary. I mean, you have a really strong Riven, and I think this
Like
Riven could
Kennen
actually
going
play.
aggressive, actually missing his shuriken though, so he doesn't get the stun. Is forced to ulti to escape.
Yeah, he had to use that ult for a defensive purpose, and as Kennen, you never want to have to do that because of that ult cooldown is like about 2 minutes. Um, so that's gonna actually hurt him. He's not gonna be. Kennen's really only effective, kind of like a Mumu for their
Namumu's
ults.
going aggressive on here. I don't know if this is a wise decision. It's Vayne and he only has Sona support, but he
And
does
also,
force the other team to back off.
you know, Mumu did pick up an early Sunfire cape, so that armor is gonna help him out. And as you saw there, Vayne actually did like no damage to him, even though she has a Wriggles and a BF sword, because she has no armor pen.
Oh,
And this might,
looks like Vayne's going maybe for a black cleaver.
yeah, that might be. I mean, that wouldn't be such a bad item right now. Usually Black Cleaver is a great mid game item, but it doesn't really transfer well into the late game. So we'll see how that works out for it. But red team does pick up a dragon at around 2350, so we might see the next dragon at around what 30 minutes, really close to 30 minutes. And Riven's still sitting on all that gold. She has. Oh no, she did back. She does pick up a hex drinker to give her a little more damage
That'll
and that
help her so
shield.
much against Jax. A lot actually.
Yeah,
Jax
that's
is
gonna help
partially
her.
magic damage with his
And actually, we
ultimate.
do see that red team's blue buff came up, so I don't know if blue team got vision on it or not, so they might not see that it's reset. I actually can check right now.
If we
Yeah,
look at if we look at Jax's items, he's not opting to finish the Hextech Gunblade. He did instead go for a Phage. Didn't go for the revolver.
yeah, and actually, blue team does know that their blue buff is up, or red team's blue buff is up, but I don't think they're gonna make a contest for it. They're just gonna give Amumu this blue buff, which is gonna help him out a lot. So, and they're actually pinging Baron right now, so we might see a really fast Baron once Amumu gets this blue buff.
They could do it decently fast. I mean, well, they don't have any wriggles, so that will hurt them in the end. But I mean, they do have Graves. Riven does lots of damage to
Also,
Baron.
one thing to note about Amumu is a lot of Amumus used to max Despair first, and Saint's been maxing Tantrum first because of the extra burst. Even though it's a little slower in the jungle, the extra burst for Amumu actually helps him a lot in his gang. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I wonder if we're gonna see see a lot of Amumu start running.
Shyvana's gonna walk right into four people with nice
Yeah, but
wall
a
from
great
Anivia
wall by
splitting.
Anivia that cuts off everyone. I mean, that Anivia wall just stopped the engagement. That could have been an Amumu ult and a potential Baron, but Anivia throws a great wall down, ends up stopping everything.
And Janna clearing oracles, trying to maintain that dragon control. And
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with this blue team, though, is they really don't have anyone to initiate. I mean, Shyvana can initiate, but it doesn't really work out well for her because she has really no CC to follow it up. Jax has initiation, but he'll get bursted down instantly since he's not really tanky. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for them. They're going to have to, like, catch someone to make a fight. And Amumu does throw a blind toss, but ends up missing.
both teams are just seeming to just walk around each other. There's a lot of counter warning and warding going on, trying to maintain that vision. But I mean, blue team's bot lane is pushing, so They might be able to do something with this. How low is that? Oh, it's not very low, so they don't have to worry about it that much, actually. So
Yeah,
never
and
mind.
actually, both teams do have oracles, so
And
they
Amumu
are.
did split the team up, and he might ulti onto this, but he does not have the team support, and Graves is actually getting some free hits, but Jax is going to jump onto Graves, misses
That's
the
not
stun though. Sona actually getting very low. That Kennen is going to hit two people, and he's going to do so much damage to them. He's going to easily take down. This looks like it's going to be an ace with just a 5-0 exchange.
Yeah, and you know, one of the big things actually was that Sona, Kevin, and Riven took out the other three members. So the team, I think they killed Anivia, Vayne, and Janna. And they did it really well because Kenna came in and ulted, and then Riven, because she's so strong right now, can just annihilate anyone. She really hyper carried this game. Or not really hyper carried, but really just carried this game. And she's really strong right now. And there's not really much blue team can do about it unless they focus her. But if they focus her, then a lot of damage comes from Kennen. So, and Graves. So it's going to be really tough.
But that
Riven
5-0
is forced to use her
exchange,
heal though on Baron, and it still looks like we're gonna get it though. I mean, heals. I would waste a summoner for Baron if I had to.
if you had to. But I mean, 5-0 exchange and Baron. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just game changing. That's
it
the game
changed
is
like
now
a
in their
3K
favor.
gold lead to a
T
almost
10k.
9K gold lead.
Uh,
So, or about 10K
about
gold.
10k gold almost. Well, 9k actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, my math is better than yours.
But
Yeah,
that
so
is
I,
just
that was.
so big.
I
And
mean,
now Riven has a
everyone's picking.
maw too. Riven has picked up her maw
Yeah,
actually.
and actually, Kennen just picked up, I think, a rabbit on. I don't know if he had that before. I don't remember,
I don't, but it
but
looks like he is going for a Rylai's now.
that or a void staff could be either one.
Maybe, but I mean, there's not that much magic resist on the other enemy team, so that would be.
You could see a Rylos. You could see a Rylos. Also, you see a Mumu getting more tanky and also picking up a Frozen Heart. Or Red Team actually has two Shirelias, so that's gonna be cool. And Sona picks up mobility boots and a revolver, so that's actually interesting. Although, and you do see Jax after that back, he does finish his Hextech Gunblade. And Anivia does have an easily large rod, along with the Rod of Ages. Shyvana has a standard item. She still has yet to get a Phage, though, which is hurting her. And Vayne does finish her Phantom Dancer. So she wasn't going for the Black Cleaver. She just picked up the VS Sword for damage. So you're going to probably see Vayne pick up an IE now or a Bloodthirster. And Janet just has regular support items. I mean, a Shirelli is in a Heart of Gold. But it doesn't look good for blue team at all.
No, not at all. If I were Vayne, I would definitely probably go for the IE over the Bloodthirster at this point. She can't get those stacks very quickly.
Yeah,
And
and I don't know if there's anything blue team can do right now because red team does have the mana regen. They do have the health regen from Baron buff. They do get the attack damage. They do get the ability power. I mean, they're just going to destroy these towers really fast. And not to mention that Graves is actually really strong right now. He has a PD and an IE and is working on his Lost Whispers. So it's going to be very tough.
there's a nice wall separating Graves from the rest of the team, but unfortunately no one was able to really go in on it. It would have been a nice pick off if they could have picked that thing off. But luckily the minions actually take down. They do have a giant, look at that wave top. It's just so big.
Yeah,
That could
that
probably take down the next tower.
you have to back, and we do see Riven actually backing. Their team is pinging the dragon. They're saying, "Hey, we can't do anything right now. Let's just get some gold." So they are going to get dragon. And actually, I'm really shocked. Riven went to kill the minions. Okay, because Graves called it. Okay, so Graves is gonna get all that free farm, and that's might even be enough for his Last Whisper. Let's see how much money he has. Yeah, Graves has 1K gold. I think Last Whisper is like what? It's 2,200 total, so 900. So yeah, he's almost there. He's gonna be able to get it really soon. And I think we do see Kennen actually is going to be the one to take the blue buff now for the energy regen since Amumu does almost have his frozen heart, so he does have a large mana pool.
Very
And you know, blue
definitely.
buff is great on Kennen. That cooldown reduction and energy regen really helps him.
I would like to see them do a little bit more with this Baron. They haven't really done anything except push a lane to the tower. They picked up maybe I think what they pick up the bot tower.
Yeah, and you know what though? They still and their Baron is actually almost out. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything efficient with it.
So not the
So
best use of Baron. They probably could have maybe taken top tower as well. Maybe split pushed a little bit, but try and force a fight under the tower. They can definitely win fights under the tower. They can easily tower dive now.
yeah, there's so much gold advantage up there. Already at 10K gold. And Kennen did go for the void staff, so.
Oh,
He
really?
does want to actually do as close to true damage as possible. And I think it's more because he's afraid of Jax and he's afraid of Shyvana because when Jax does pop his ultimate, he does gain a lot of MR, so he's very tanky. And also Shyvana is just naturally tanky with her passive, so from her ultimate. So I mean, the voice stuff is not a bad choice.
Not entirely bad, no. Jax is definitely one of the big problems in this fight. He does do a lot of damage. He just seems to get blown up. Not actually doesn't have a lot of assists or kills, despite actually doing some good amount of damage. So,
Yeah,
but he
and I,
hasn't really been there either.
I also think he's just separated. Like a lot of these engagements this game have been red team separating blue team from a fight, and red team is just so much stronger individually that they can win the 3v3s and the 2v2s. While blue team's team comp's kind of more of a like Vayne needs all those people just to sit in a wall in front of her so she can do damage. So I mean that's one of the things that are hampering them right now is that the blue team keeps getting split when Vayne needs her walls. And it does look like they are gonna pick up top
Nice
tower.
wall from Manivia, actually blocking off Kennen. Can they go on this? Shyvana does ult in there, but she's just going to get blown up immediately, followed up by a Mumu ulti. Janet does ult Kennen away, so it's not going to stun anybody, but Anivia egg is popped, and Janna and Vayne are forced to run away, and there's a 3-throw exchange, but Janna
And
does
it's
get hit by a bandage. Oh, she does flash out. And it looks like, oh man, Vayne gets caught by pathing, and she just loops around the inhibitor, and then
Mumu hits
Janna gets
another
hit up
great
by another
bandage and they get an
bandage.
ace. I mean, that's huge. I mean, this ace is going to end the game. That's going to be a good game. Well played, blue team. There's a couple mistakes that they did. They did take advantage, though, a lot on like mistakes from the red team, but they just couldn't pull it out. I feel Jackson didn't really itemize right against Riven. I think he should have just massively went armor since almost every team fight, it wasn't Kennen destroying him, it was actually Graves and Riven. So I think that Negatron clip was a very bad buy. I also didn't like how he decided to not even finish his Hex Tech Gunblade and he picked up a Phage. I felt maybe he needed help, but I don't think that Phage actually helped him at all in any of the fights. So
Definitely did. We do see a double explosion.
yeah, that's always good. Great job, blue team, for being, you know, good sports and giving us that awesome view to see.
Weldon showing us what's up with his Riven play.
Yeah,
Really
that
good
was a
play.
great match. I I do think Welding did do the carrying that game. That was a very strong performance by Riven. Um, Overall, though, it is a great team
I'll,
play by
I'll
Red.
give
I
props to
think
Amumu, man.
that Vancouver skin is very.
Amumu just pulling out the stops. So good. I mean, he counter jungled as Amumu, and he counter
Yeah,
jungled as Shyvana.
because Shyvana got hampered so early, like it really hurt her.
Definitely, definitely.